The Antec Performance 1 FT has certainly earned its spot as one of my favorite cases of 2023. And this time, it comes in white. So I think it's only fitting to create a custom one-of-a-kind white and gold water-cooled build to show it off in style. Today's video sponsor, TubeBuddy, I've been using for years now. They're an AI solution that gives YouTubers the tools they need to boost views, subscribers, and ultimately earnings. Let me take you through a few of the features that I use. TubeBuddy has built-in A/B testing so you can test two thumbnails against each other or even test different metadata or titles to see which is best. I ran these two A/B tests back in 2022, which helped me select the better performing thumbnail for the video, which helped increase its views and earnings. There is also loads of data and insights to check out, but I tend to install the TubeBuddy extension and utilize all of its features over on YouTube. I love using the Keyword Explorer to find great tags, video ideas, and keywords for the video description. PC Build has a fantastic search volume, but there is high competition, so you can play around to see what works best for your niche. Now, based on my YouTube title and my video description, TubeBuddy will actually recommend tags for me to use, so I don't have to sit there thinking for ages about what tags to use. Another favorite of mine is the AI title generator. Tell TubeBuddy what the video is about and it'll give you a bunch of video titles to choose from. Even the thumbnail analyzer can give you a relative ranking to help predict the best thumbnail for click-through rate. There is so much more to TubeBuddy to explore, so you can try the free version or use my code on screen now for 30% off using my link in the video description. Well, I think an all-white build is certainly fitting for this time of the year, with snow being a major part of Christmas. Well, not really here in Australia, but more importantly, we are using the Performance 1 FT case in white from Antec. Now, this is a full tower case with a built-in CPU temperature display, which is displayed on the front. Now, I am going to be water cooling inside of this case. I will try and keep everything nice and white. I may even throw in a bit of gold accents, which I think will bring this build all together. This case also retails for $145 US on Amazon or $149 for the white version. When it comes to white motherboards, we don't really have a lot on hand, and it was between two, and so we ended up going with the ROG Maximus Z790 Apex motherboard. I don't even believe they make these anymore, but if I can find a link, I will leave it down in the description below. But we have all of the features we need, but most importantly, it is a white motherboard. Plenty of USB, we've got plenty of NVMe storage, and many other features. It is also compatible with both 13th and 14th gens, which suits us because we are going with our 13th gen 13700K CPU. So for today's system, I've actually decided we're actually going to go a previous 13700K gen processor. It's an i7. I mean, 14th gen hasn't really been getting a good rap lately. I mean, it seems just like a refresh of the 13th gen. So let's just save some money. We'll go for a 13700K, make sure it's overclockable because we are going to be water cooling it. This CPU has a total of 16 cores and 24 threads, so it will perform well in gaming and multi-core tasks. But more importantly, it comes in at $94 cheaper than the 14700K for only a single digit loss in FPS. In my opinion, there's so much more value right here. So So for today's PC, we have the Dominator Titanium First Edition RAM. These are a 7200 megahertz kit running at CL36 timings. Now the primary reason why we chose these is because of their all-white design. We feel that it's going to match the motherboard really well. Now these are definitely not the most cost-effective RAM, but they are a non-binary kit, meaning that you can get them as a 48GB kit. So we're going with the Seagate Firecutter 520 NVMe drive. The reason why I'm not going with a 530 is we want to save a little bit of cost. It's still a Gen 4 drive. It's got read and write speeds of 5,000 megabytes per second. So we're not going to notice any real world change between the two, and saving that extra cost can go towards something like a better CPU or a better GPU. Now this is only going to be a gaming PC as well, so we're not going to be loading up too many applications. Once we're in game, you're not really going to notice any benefits from it. Wow, you wouldn't want to get hit by this chunk of metal. It's got some weight to it. This particular build, we're actually going with an EK Quantum Velocity 2 CPU block. I know we said all white build, but what I am thinking of doing is adding in some small gold accents. So that means gold CPU block and also gold fittings, and the rest will be completely white. I think that's going to bring the whole build together. I'm not exactly sure if I want to go with white liquid yet or make like a special gold flaky liquid. I think that'll look pretty cool. But once the build's all together and the CPU block is installed, they're going to give us a better understanding of where this build is heading. The new Quantum Surface radiators are actually much wider than the previous EK radiators, and this is the S360 in white. Now we only need a 360mm radiator for our build because we are only cooling the CPU this time. Now this particular one is the U-flow design, so the liquid comes in one side, comes out the other. It's not the X-flow, which is good because it's getting cooling going both ways. So today we're going with the Antec Fusion 120 ARGB fans. These are a hydraulic bearing and they actually come in a set of 5. Majority of companies usually give you 3 fans in a set. Not only that, but they come with their own controller and you can connect it to the ARGB sync on your motherboard. And these particular ones today are going to be the white versions for our all white build, but you can get them in black as well. Now in terms of fan speed, you can go all the way from 600 RPM to 2000 RPM, give or take about 10%. $60 for a set of 5 fans is also not that bad either. This is the Power Color Hellhound in Spectral White, the 7800 XT, just come out as well pretty recently. And the cool thing about this particular card is majority of manufacturers, when they put their white heatsinks on the PCB is still black. They actually have a white PCB. So I really don't want to put this one under liquid for this build because it's something special that I really want to show off to you guys. Besides that, we still have features like ray tracing and AMD Fidelity X Super Resolution 3. So it's going to be a good performing card if you want to utilize those features as well. Speaking of performance, we're expecting this to be a fantastic performer in 1440p gaming, and we should also be able to touch that sweet spot of 4K 60 FPS in some games. This is the Neo Eco 1000 GM from Antec, and we are partnering with Antec on this build, so we wanted to make sure that we had a fully modular power supply. I would have preferred it in white, but unfortunately they don't have the white version in our region in stock at the moment. However, I'll leave a link down below to the white variant. This is 80+ gold certified, and it does include a 16 pin for your 4000 series graphics cards from Nvidia. I do plan on using some white sleeved cables with this though. For our cables today, we decided let's try and save a little bit of money. And I've been using the Asia Horse cables for the last couple of builds now. I was thinking to myself, I'm paying for a little bit of wire with some sleeving on it. Why do I need to spend hundreds of dollars on some cables? They're decent quality as well. I could use the extra money to go towards something like upgrading the GPU or the CPU. And for this particular one, I went for the all white kit. I mean, even the cable gauge is nice and thick, so it fills out the space. There's no gaps in between. They look super clean. Now that the GPU is in, the fans are in, we have limited space to work with now. We don't really have a mounting position to put a tube reservoir in, although we could drill some holes or we could mount them to the front fans. But what I'm thinking is we're gonna go with an EK Quantum Kinetic pump res combo. It's a DDC unit, so it doesn't stick out as far, which means it should fit. I think if we went with a D5, it would collide with the GPU, especially when we put the fittings in. So the DDC unit is our best choice. We also added the bottom fans as intake because this is gonna block some of the front intake fans. So it's gonna kind of balance out in the end. All right, let's see if this fits well. See, that was what I was afraid of with the D5 variant. I knew that the D5 would have hit the GPU, and there definitely wouldn't have been enough room to bring the 90-degree fitting out and then a tube up. without hitting the GPU, but it seems like we've also got that same issue with this FLT DDC version. So what I'm thinking is we may have to swap out for a tube reservoir and drill a couple of holes in the back here to mount it. So I ended up finding this DDC pump res combo, and I actually added gold accents to it in the past, and it fits really well in this spot. I'll be able to bring up the tubes no problem without the GPU getting in the way. So I'm thinking that we'll add one mount and drill that to the back and screw it in. But I'm not liking the look of the black, so I might give it a bit of a paint job first. It is definitely not a good day for painting. It's raining, very humid. We'll just do a light coat on the first one.